There's a bit of news coming from the City Council of Los Angeles. It's a Democrat hellhole, and we'll get into some of that. But there are two big issues in this story that everyone has overlooked, so stick around. Nury Martinez is the president of LA City Council. She is self-described as a Latina Democrat. Now, you might have heard her name pop up in the news over the last few days. She got caught on a hot mic, and her actual feelings were able to be observed. Isn't it funny how some politicians have a completely different personality when they think the cameras are turned off? So one of the first things she says is that one of her coworkers is a little bitch. Now, the little bitch in question is Mike Bonin. Mike, being an adult, handled this pretty well. In reaction, Bonin told the LA Times that he felt, quote, disgusted and angry and heartsick by the leaked audio. It's fair game to attack me, but my son? Whoa, wait, what? She attacked his son too? As the leaked audio continues, she calls him a little monkey. You see, Mike's son is adopted, and Mike's son is black. He's also 3 years old. Okay, that's pretty bad. But it gets worse. She goes on to say Bonin had been raising his son, quote, like a little white kid who needs a beatdown. Let me take him around the corner, then I'll bring him back, end quote. So this councilwoman is violent and a racist? Real piece of work, huh? Now, this article goes on for a long time, and there are many references to this type of behavior. It clearly establishes a pattern of racism and hate from Nury Martinez over her long career with the city of LA. So, once the audio was leaked, the community came together and literally harassed her into quitting. They protested at her home. They protested at her work. They even protested at her church. Nury Martinez tendered her resignation, and she no longer is working for the city of LA. And everyone clapped the end. Just kidding. All of this was reported in quite a few news articles and local news and things like that, but there are two very important pieces of the story that were ignored. And oddly enough, I think they're the most important parts. 1. The apology. You can always tell a lot about a person with an apology. On Sunday, she apologized for the comments. Quote, in a moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me, and I hold myself accountable for these comments. For that, I am sorry. The context of this conversation was concern over the redistricting process and concern about the potential negative impact that it might have on communities of color, she added. My work speaks for itself. I've worked hard to lead this city through its most difficult time. End quote. There's a lot to unpack here. In a moment of frustration and anger, she calls a 3-year-old boy a monkey? Over zoning issues? Child abuse and racism is your go-to when you're angry? Most people slam a desk, yell, or just take a walk to vent and calm down. But her first reaction was to insult a child. That's pretty interesting. I'm sure she can work that out with years of therapy. Then, she completely ignores the apology and makes a weird turn into how she was trying to help communities of color by calling a black child a monkey. She also called him other things, but you can read the article yourself. There's no way I'm repeating that on here. So some apology, huh? And 2, but there was another thing that is way more important, and it should not be ignored. It's really great news for that community, and the country as a whole, believe it or not. Let's take another look at those protesters. The whole community coming together to stand against something that's wrong. Black, white, old, young, Asian, Latino. Everyone hates a racist. Racism isn't a problem. When you find an actual racist, and thank God they are rare, but when you find one, everyone comes together to end that immediately. This is good news. This should be an uplifting, feel-good news story, and no one is talking about it. The entire community saw a problem, and gathered together to take out the trash. This is great news. It should be getting way more attention. The overwhelming number of people are good, and they want to work together to remove bad people. The people of LA did this together. It's glorious. They should be celebrated. Pass this story around. Share it with your friends. Things are not as bad as they seem. Take a moment and enjoy it. All right, I got another video coming later, so I'll see y'all soon.